Cookin Cheap has been provided by Valleydale Packers Incorporated and Cheney Thomas Stevenson Hill Incorporated.
And let that teach you a lesson about drinking and standing.
And stay off the booze. Right. Let's see, I want to get this up high. I've been heating this up. Bend over, Bly, I'm going to brand you.
Ah! Now we'll know. How do you like my tie? I belong to this new fiddle and banjo club.
Yeah.
Oh, it just fell off.
Fiddle around with your head if you talk like that. Those are good people, and they won't appreciate
real good upside.
They're not going to appreciate you're making fun of them, Bly.
Oh, I'm not making fun of them. They're great people.
They wouldn't not wear that.
Yes, indeed. Want to see my flat foot?
Yes.
I went to the podiatrist earlier today. But anyway.
You're just falling apart. You were at the eye doctor last week.
I know, I was.
How was your eyes?
Oh, they were real good.
Is that why
they're much better this week than they were last week, though. Yeah, they are.
Did I see you coming out of the eye bank the other day?
I made a night depository. Did you notice that? Hey, listen, let me tell you, this is the cold weather show, and some of you may say, well, that's ridiculous. It's July.
Well, I know, but it'll be a cold day in July before.
It doesn't matter when you see this show,
That's
whether
right.
you see it in the middle of summer, or whether you see it in the fall, or in the early spring, or even, yea, verily, in the winter, as some people will. It will,
we hope,
be just as relevant as it was last.
Now, wait a minute. You can talk about what you want to, but you don't have to throw those words in. This show may be a lot of things, but it is not relevant.
Speaking cheap.
Speaking cheap.
Okay. What do you make? This is the cold weather show. What are you making?
Well, I thought I'd do some sweet potatoes a la Brandied. You remember that song about
I hate to tell you this, but I believe Kermit's done been in it.
No, there's enough left. You don't have to...
Brandy, you're a fine girl.
Right. Bless his heart. You go. Come on back here. We'll give him a little Alka-Seltzer. Face down in the wok.
I'll bet you never had a doctor throw you in the sink.
What?
When you got a cold?
What? Listen, how do you think they clean them off when they're born? They put them down in the sink and wash them off. They got little baby brushes and they, you know, run water over them and clean them up.
I've never heard tell such ridiculous thing my whole life.
Well, how do you think they clean those little babies up?
I don't want to talk about cleaning babies.
Well, why not?
I'm trying to do a cook show.
Well, I mean, you're the one who brought it up about a doctor throwing a baby in the sink.
Okay.
I've heard of throwing the baby out with a bath.
It's a bassinet.
Did you ever have a bassinet when you were little?
No, never did. Never did. My folks couldn't afford one.
And a cat.
They'd take me out to the creek on a washboard.
Right.
Run me over.
That's
why I have all these places on the back. It's real sad.
Where they scraped you up on those rocks and beat you.
Yeah, it is. It's true.
Senseless. Then boiled you with the flour. Just put some starch into you.
Pork and mustard sauce. That's what I'm doing.
Pork and mustard sauce.
Yeah, and you know, this is a good recipe because if you have any pork left over from the previous night, that's a good thing to do. You cut it all up in little pieces and use it in this particular dish.
Oh, is that what you've done?
Well, yeah, I had some that I didn't exactly have this left over, but I cooked some up last night.
Looks a little pinky.
Well, a little of it looks pink, but you're gonna redo it again.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, so you don't want to overdo it too much.
No.
I mean, please.
Well, it might get tough.
Well, sure. You don't want to get tough. So
no, unless you're macho.
Great big old hunk of it, and you know, put it on the stove last night. Yes, indeed.
Roast. Yes, okay. Indeed. I have a relatively clean bowl, and let me tell you, here's something else.
I know, I just cleaned it up myself a while ago.
No, this is not this. You had another one. This
okay.
This is the sister of the one you had.
All right.
Do you know that I found
Sister bowl.
I found these cooked sweet potatoes on sale, cheaper than you get the fresh ones.
And boil them yourself.
So I bought them.
And cook them up yourself. Well,
so
you got to learn something every day on Cookin Cheap. 4
cups of mash, so that's what I'm going to do, right?
I got a little water on here, and we're going to put some of those leftover noodles from week before last. You know, I made a lot of noodles, and I had about a half a bag left over of them. And we're going to take those and we're going to put those on in a couple of minutes to go underneath of
Okay.
the pork mustard sauce.
Well, Larry, while I'm fooling
So
around,
we'll say mucho buccos on
I
the
got
show
to
today.
peel these oranges.
Well, go right ahead.
Okay, these are navel oranges.
You can't talk about that on the air.
Why not?
Navel oranges.
Sure.
Well, Lord.
Why are you so worried about talking about parts of your body on the air? I mean, there's legs and eyes and thighs and ankles and wrists and tootsies and ninnies.
I'm going to take a quarter of a cup of margarine and put it in here and start melting down just a little bit is what I'm going to do. We're going to guesstimate that because I have all these bits and pieces of margarine that have been laying around here in the old Cookin cheap refrigerator for some time. So I'm just going to use a few bits and pieces.
Oh, you're going to melt some?
Yeah, I'm going to melt
Would
some
you
right
melt
now.
some for me, too? Seriously.
Yeah, I'll put some. I'll throw some
about
extra
a
in there.
quarter cup.
And we won't have to waste any additional electricity.
Oh, I know they'll be glad to hear that back in the back.
So put that in there and melt it down just a little bit. How much did you say you needed?
Quarter of a cup.
Quarter of a cup. Maybe I better put a little more in there. I don't know. We got a few more pieces, bits and pieces. And by the way, that's about all there is left.
We need to get some.
We need to buy some more. When you go out next time, make sure you shop for it. Somebody has to be responsible for it, you know. Go right on.
Well, I'm just still peeling these oranges, and we'll slice one of them crosswise, and then I'm going to chop the rest of them. Ooh,
While he's doing that, I'm going to take an apple, just one single red apple, real nice sweet apple. And we're going to cut that up.
got me in the eyeball.
What happened?
It squirted me in the eyeball.
I'm going to take one of those. We're just going to cut it up into several pieces, and we're going to make sure that all of the little seeds are out of there and everything, and cut those right up real nice, because we're going to add these in just a little bit later on. This is a nice, sweet apple. It might be a starch delicious. I'm not sure what it is.
That's a delicious. Looks like it.
Looks like a starch delicious.
A red delicious, as opposed to a golden delicious.
What other kind of apples are there?
Well, there's a Granny Smith,
Granny Smith.
a wine sap,
Yeah, that's right there, aren't there? Wine sap. Excuse me.
Johnny Begonia.
I believe you're starting to make them up now.
What, wine sap?
No, Johnny Begonias.
Oh.
There really isn't a Johnny Begonia, I don't believe. I come from apple country.
Oh, that's obvious. Because you know your apples. I'll say that for you. You know your apples.
You can say that about I know my apples. These apples are
I
real
can
good.
think of other things that you don't, but you
know too
your
well.
apples.
I do know my apple. I don't know my squash very well, but I do know my apples real good. Yes, I do.
I got a letter
Yes,
the other
indeed, I
week from the
certainly do.
National Squash Council.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
The Squash Council.
Mm-hmm. And they were upset because we left out one.
What's that?
The Hubbard.
The Hubbard.
The Hubbard squash.
Mother Hubbard squash?
No, it's a Hubbard squash. And I haven't written them back yet, but I'm sorry. We try to work everybody into the show, and we talk about all those different, but I just forgot the Hubbard squash.
What's a Hubbard squash look like?
I don't know. I've never met one. But that is a squash. I don't know.
You mean there's a squash you don't know anything about?
Sure. It's a lot I don't know about, Larry.
Now,
I don't know a whole lot about you.
While we have a little dull part here in the program, I'm going to take a little bit of celery, which I also had left over from a previous program a couple of weeks back, and I'm going to cut some of that up in just a little bitty pieces. Not necessary that you even see me doing. Just going to cut a few of them up. Don't cut them up into large pieces. I'm going to throw them in and saute them in just a couple of minutes. It's part of our recipe today.
Okay, well now there's all those.
It sure is nice to have a knife this week.
Isn't it? Well, we had to go out and hunt them, and they were around somewhere. Well,
Don't need a lot of those. You need a quarter of a cup of sliced celery. So it's not necessary to do a whole pile of them, but if you got some leftover celery, you might do that. You know, I had some leftover celery yesterday evening, Laban, and I did one of those nice wok dishes where you
was it good?
Throw a whole bunch of leftover vegetables in a wok and just steam them up real good. I had my bamboo steamer and did all that stuff.
Too bad you don't have your Ginsu knife.
I got it with a very special offer. So anyway, got those.
Now, Larry, I have sliced one of these 4 oranges into rounds, and now I'm going to chop the rest of them.
Now, while we got just a couple of seconds, I'm going to take just a little bit of leftover. This is really an inexpensive dish. This is really an inexpensive dish because, you see, I used leftover noodles from about 2 weeks ago. I said that already. Am I starting to repeat myself?
Yes, you are.
Am I getting to that age where I repeat myself? Am I repeating myself?
Constantly.
Yeah. Leftover noodles from a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to take some of those and throw them in the water and just prepare them a little bit, because we're going to eat up on them after a while here. Okay, we're going to put this nice sauce over top of it. Got some leftover noodles. You may want to take care of those this week in the continuing saga of Cooking Cheap. One of America's television programs.
Boy, this orange didn't want to get cut.
Well, it smells good.
What?
That orange you're
of course.
beating up on over there. I'm still waiting for this
back in the Elizabethan days, Bly.
Yeah?
You know, during the days of Queen Elizabeth, good Queen Bess.
Don't remember those.
You know,
days.
she was known as the Virgin Queen. Well, she was. Well, that's why where we're doing this is called Virginia. Anyway, back in those days, they didn't have
means a lot to people in Kentucky.
Well, I mean, they were named after something else. The good King Kentuck. But
good King Kentuck.
King Tuck.
Tuck.
Anyway, the thing about
he's been driven from every state except this one, so go on ahead.
No, I just wanted to help you a little bit. Tell you this little thing about oranges. See, they didn't have Right Garden Band and Secret Roll-On and all that good stuff.
Are you getting paid for all these plugs?
No. Anyway, so well, I mean, if they want to send me a case of that stuff, I'd be glad. Oh, I couldn't accept it, though. I guess that'd be wrong. But anyway, they didn't have any of that, so it was just terrible. And people went around, you know, they had all those heavy clothes, you know, made out of linen and velvet and velveteen and all that mess. And people would go to a party and everybody go, she hadn't changed her dress for 3 years. And, you know, the odor was terrible. So what they used to do was they would take orange peel, they would save the peel of the orange, and they would light it on a candle and let it burn and hold it. And that would kind of deodorize everything and give sort of a nice smell. And that was Elizabethan deodorant. Yes, it was. And that's why they were so hot on those crusades to get all those spices and go over there and all that stuff and free the Holy Land, because they really wanted to quit smelling because everybody stunk. Big time. And you wouldn't have known that if you hadn't listened to this show today.
Well, how long are you going to be doing this?
What? I don't smell.
When do you need your margarine? I need to get it out of here because I have need for mine very shortly.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you tell me that.
Where do you need it? Where are you going to put it? And be careful, because that thing is... No, it's not. Okay. Oh, excuse me. So anyway, how much of it do you need? A quarter of a cup?
Quarter of a cup.
All right, I'm going to give you your quarter now so I can get...
When is it you go to the ear doctor?
Is that a quarter of a cup?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So, are you okay? Oh, I thought he was having a big one there for a minute. You just never know. It's just...
Take you right on out.
Wink of an eye, he could be gone from this set. You never know. Well, my noodles are coming along real good now.
Where's that brown sugar you had?
It is in, it's over here.
You know, that you made...
It's here.
Is that it? Dixie.
Now, don't mention the name. Don't mention the name on television. Why? All right, now what we're going to do right now...
You don't want people to know that it came all apart?
We got a quarter of a cup of margarine in here, and we're going to take a quarter of a cup of a diced celery. All right, you can either slice it or dice it. Doesn't matter which. It says diced.
Well, Irene Sullivan used to say you could do
And we're going to put that in there, and we're going to saute that just for a couple of minutes, okay, over low heat. Saute until tender, about 8 minutes. Let me get something to stick on top of it so that it'll go faster, because you never know. This show just goes so fast. It doesn't for the viewers. It does for us. It really does. And in a couple of minutes, we're going to remove that from the heat and blend in a little bit of flour.
Now, look.
Now, that should be really exciting.
I've sprinkled a quarter cup of brown sugar over these oranges. Isn't that nice?
Ooh, that looks real nice.
So, let's see. I guess I'm finished with this. Got him again. Couldn't even scream before he got it. All right, let's see. Where is the can opener? You remember back in the old days when you could find stuff?
He's searching. I put it back where it was supposed to be for a change. That's where it is right now.
Unbelievable.
Good value, sweet potatoes.
And this was sent in by a viewer. Wasn't this the one that was sent in to us by a viewer? From up in Blacksburg. I know him. He's a good guy.
Right.
Works in the hospital up there, Radford. Radford Community Hospital. He's a social worker up there.
All right, those little celeries are in there sauteing.
People that have lost their mind in the hospital.
Are sauteing in there right now. They're just sauteing away. You can probably see them in there. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, my heavens. So anyway, we'll saute those a couple of minutes, and we're going to throw in all the rest of the stuff like apple juice and mustard and flour and pork and salt and pepper.
And a hank of hair and a piece of bone.
Hank of hair and a piece of bone and a walking, talking honeycomb.
That was Jimmy Rogers. That's the one that he got knocked upside the head on the road, didn't he? Wasn't he the one?
Well, I don't know a thing about Jimmy Rogers.
Oh,
honeycomb, won't you be my baby? Oh, honeycomb, be my
And then next thing you knew, he was doing commercials for some kind of dog food or something, wasn't he?
That's what you and I'll be doing after about 2 more shows. Commercials for dog food.
That's all right. We probably get paid more.
I swear you're so mean. What are you doing now? You're
mashing them up along with the butter that you were kind enough to melt in your pan. And this is about 4 cups of cooked sweet potatoes. These are real nice. I think these were a good value, Larry. And as soon as I get these going, I will start adding some other stuff.
When you come right down to it, what can you do to a sweet potato to ruin it? Besides burn it.
Burn it.
That's it. That's all you can do. And you know, I think it's a little difficult.
Or you could put those little teeny-weeny colored marshmallows in them. I think that ruins them. Don't you?
I was at your house one time when you served that.
I have never served marshmallows in sweet potatoes in my house.
Those little pink marshmallows, I
have never served.
I never got over it. It was so trashy.
I swear.
I bet you do on occasion. I've heard him swear on occasion.
Okay.
There, of course.
Now you need a half a cup of cooking brandy.
Cooking brandy, huh?
And a quarter cup of creme.
Now I got to add a teaspoon of salt to the celery.
I need a teaspoon of salt over here.
Well, good luck getting it out. That's all I can say. And a generous dash of pepper is what the recipe calls for. This is pathetic, but I'll do the best I can. There you go. And, you know, we really do need to get ourselves a little salt and pepper. A generous dash. A generous dash of pepper. Put that in there also. A couple of minutes while I add the rest of the recipe. Having a little problem? There it goes. You're doing all right. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake.
That's enough. You don't need too much anyway.
All right. Wonder if my noodles are ready.
I don't know. Are they?
Let me give them a little try here in a minute. Set those aside. I'm
Now,
still
you
sauteing
mix all of
these,
this
see?
other mixture together.
All right. Can I add some mustard? I have some.
I don't know whether you can or not, but you may if you want to.
Oh, it just dribbled out all over the place.
Remember when the teacher used to say that to you in school?
Oh, she always was saying that. I have to
Can I
add
go to the bathroom? I don't know whether...
3 tablespoons of prepared mustard.
Woo!
That ought to be it.
That was obscene.
And then we're going to add some other stuff in there. Also, we're going to put in 3 cups of unsweetened apple juice. There we go. And that ought to be about it. A little bit more. And what else do we have? Okay, now at this point, over medium heat, we're going to add the pork and heat it throughout, okay? Add that pork in there right now. Should be real nice. Over a medium heat, it says.
Larry, I swear I don't think you cooked that stuff enough.
All right. Cook that for just a little bit, and we also need to add just a little bit of flour to that. Okay, as a matter of fact, the flour is about 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. We're going to thicken it up just a little bit, okay? And that's it. Now back to Laban.
Okay, well, I've added the 3 oranges that have been, what you call it, sliced or chopped, and they've been macerating in the...
They've been what?
They've been macerating.
Macerating?
In the brown sugar.
Well, I swear.
I swear, you know, you live around here with people that just don't know nothing.
Living in ignorance. Can we review our prices? Or are you still working here?
No, I'm finished.
All right, let's review our prices right now.
Well, for the pork and mustard sauce, you need a 1/4 cup of margarine, 1/4 cup of sliced celery, 1/4 cup of flour, teaspoon of salt, some pepper, 3 tablespoons of mustard, 3 cups of apple juice, and then a small red apple and 3 cups of cubed cooked pork. That makes 4 servings at 96 cents each. For the brandied sweet potatoes, you need 3 to 4 oranges peeled, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of brandy, 1/4 cup of cream, 1/4 cup of melted butter, a teaspoon of salt, 4 cups of sweet potatoes, 8 servings at 43 cents each. A real bargonza. Now,
I believe it's almost time for the Cook sisters.
Oh, they were here earlier.
They've got to give their little tip, you know.
You won't believe the one today.
Uh-oh, is it a dilly?
It's wild.
Oh,
the wildest thing. Something about, well, anyway, you'll know it.
I kind of figured
Don't
it.
mean nothing. Her baby has her blue jeans on. Oh, one of my favorite songs. How you doing, sister?
Better than you are.
Well, we've got some little tips for you out there in TV land. We have so many viewers, you know. So.
Yes, well...
Well, when you're shopping for pork, make sure you shop for pork with just a little pale pink color with a little bit of white specks of fat through it, and good quality pork is never watery. Remember that now?
Well, all right. Good pork is never watery. I'm Sister Cook.
And I'm Tootsie Cook.
And we're the Cook Sisters.
Oh, weren't they a mess? Now, I've just added some apples in here.
Oh,
You don't want to
good.
cook them very much. They must be almost raw. Now, let's look at this. This is a very thick mixture with your pork and all kinds of stuff in there.
And your apules and your apple
Apples
juice
and your
noodles
yes,
over there.
all sorts of things. Now, I'm going to drain these noodles while we're at it. And we're going to cut that off. Drain those just a couple of seconds. And I have 2 plates over here. In a couple of seconds, we'll...
Well, there are 2 plates over here.
Oh, are there?
Yes, already laid out on the stove.
Oh,
for you.
all right. Okay. Well, we'll use yours. I'll just use this so I don't drip all over the floor. Now we'll take some of those noodles and put them out.
Enough.
Yeah, we don't want to overdo it. There we go. So much for that. And we're going to take this pork mustard sauce, and we're going to put and make sure it's got a nice apple on there. And the apple doesn't have to be cooked very much, okay? You want that to be almost raw. And we're going to take the pork sauce and put it over top of the noodles, which we had left over. Are we ready to try them?
Yes.
Ready to give it all a try here. And see how wonderful all this goodness really is, after all. Well, how is it, Laban?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been able to get the fork to my lips yet.
Well,
I'm trying, doing the best. These noodles seem like they don't want to...
They're slippery, aren't they? I like these sweet potatoes. The combination of the sweet potatoes and the orange and the margarine is real good.
Well, black. Ooh, that's delicious. I think we've done it again. 2 goodies.
One of our better efforts.
And I hope everybody will try it and write in for the recipe.
And it was no effort whatsoever when it was all said and done.
A mere child could do this one, especially the sweet potatoes, nothing to it. Well, we've had a swell time today, and we hope you have too. And I hope it's not too cold where you are right now.
Or too hot, for that matter. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Come on back.
See you next week.
When writing for today's recipes, please refer to show number 313. Partial production funding for Cookin' Cheap has been provided by Valleydale Packers Incorporated and Cheney Thomas Stevens